Welcome. You've decided to launch your career as a professional insurance agent, full-time with Legacy Insurance. What comes next? First, you have a test to pass. We're going to enroll you in our training program to pass that test successfully. It takes people an average of 3 to 6 weeks. It's a little bit on the longer end with agents in Utah. The test got harder early in 2024. You got to buckle down and really pay attention to the material in the exam prep. But if you're in most other states, it's still about 3 to 4 weeks to study for and then successfully pass the test that is for both two licenses, the life and health licenses. Once you pass that exam, it's not quite over. Make sure you get your fingerprinting done quickly, and then your state will do their background check. Most states will do that within about a week or so, but there are some states, Nevada, Washington State are good examples, that can take as long as 8 weeks to do it. About 4 to 8 weeks, and then finally, once it gets back to the Department of Insurance, they will turn around your new license number quickly. So that should help you plan out your timeline, maybe when you turn in your 2 weeks notice. Once you do get that license, then you get to onboard with us. We're going to get you contracting with our field marketing organization called American Senior Benefits, along with contracting for appointment, is what it's called, with about 15 to 20 different insurance carriers initially across 4 different lines of business. That'll take a little bit of time, but the nice thing is our system makes it so that about 90% of the questions that you answer do not have to be repeated, but about the other 10% are going to be unique questions for each different insurance carrier. Along those lines, you're going to have to get a few other pieces done before most of those carriers will complete their contracting. You'll get signed up with errors and omissions insurance. That's a liability coverage that you're going to pay about $90 for your first month, and then I think it's about $28 to $30 every month thereafter. That's just liability coverage that most professions that are licensed have to have. Fortunately, ours is one of the cheaper ones. If you are in the middle of a month and you are looking at, maybe I don't want to pay that $30 for half a month, pay the $30. It's not worth getting slowed down by 2 weeks because you can't sell anything unless that insurance is in force, your liability coverage. So you don't want that 2 weeks where you can make hundreds of dollars at least in trade for a $30 expense. So just get the coverage, backdate it, and you're going to be fine. You also have to get a long-term care insurance certification and anti-money laundering certifications. Those are both very simple, quick certifications. Both take less than an hour to knock out. You get all those 3 things done, you turn it in through our software program, and the insurance carriers will begin processing their approval to appoint you, which allows you to sell their products. Once that's done, meanwhile, we set you up with what's called 0 week. Now that 0 week ideally is your first main week, and you'll do some of the administrative stuff throughout, but sometimes we're going to move that 0 week anywhere from a 1 week away to 3 or 4 weeks away, because we do prefer to have multiple agents in a 0 week if we can. People do like to train as a class, as a group of other people, knowing some of their classmates who are starting at the same place that you are. So we try and do that when we can. In both cases, you're going to get married up with your new mentor before or during the 0 week. And the 2 of you are going to plan to take over the world. You're going to figure out your schedules, and you're going to get on the same page with the kind of tempo, activity, and your mentor is going to start planning to get to know you and shore up your skill sets, your knowledge, your understanding of different tools that you have access to, and just start going to town with you. Your 0 week will be a formal classroom style week of training, going over product basics, how we work with clients, our fact-finding process, our referral process, and many other pieces, which will be a 4-day classroom experience. You may get started on this before your 0 week, but if you haven't, after 0 week, you're off to the races with your mentor, and you're splitting your time in 3 basic ways. First, you're going to continue to have a few other types of certifications and some follow-up administrative pieces that will just kind of follow you for your first 2 months. Second, you're going to be setting and going on appointments. That's the core of what you really want to be doing with most of your time. And then third, you're still going to be getting more and more follow-up training. The classroom training is wonderful, but most of us don't remember everything we hear the first time, and we also want to continue building on what you've learned. So you're going to continue getting informal and formalized training week after week after week that's doubling down on the things you're learning on your real-world appointments with clients and your sales. You're going to go on 30, 40, 50 plus appointments with your mentor. You're going to see everything done from A to Z, and you're going to have great discussions in the car between appointments, back at the office. You're going to, for your first about 6 weeks, your first half of that, you're going to spend most of your appointments with your mentor. And then you're going to quickly want to get out on your own. And then you'll have most of your time on your own, and you're going to come back, grab your mentor maybe for a follow-up when you feel it's needed, or have certain days where you go back on some follow-ups with your mentor. So it'll be an as-needed relationship. It is not a short-term thing that has a limited time span. It's totally individualized. And we say 6 weeks because by the end of 6 weeks, a person should really begin to start feeling like you know what you're doing. You should have sales under your belts across several different product lines, and you've got a good ball of appointments that's going. And so as long as you're doing those appointments well and you're getting referrals, then it gets easier and easier to build that calendar of appointments. And the appointments become increasingly higher quality. So that is the start of your career. It's a whole bunch of certifications, tests, training, study, and then you dive in with your mentor and you're going to work calling people, going on those appointments, and doing one real world case after another during your first couple of months. Good luck.